Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Make It Happen Today. So, we are almost at the end of the year. I can't believe that 2021 has flown by. I know that a lot of it has been in lockdown, and so everybody has really felt it this year. And even though it's been a slow year and we've not been able to do everything we wanted to do, I still cannot believe it's December and mid-December at that. So I was in college the other day and we were talking about setting goals and particularly New Year's resolutions. And I thought it was a really interesting conversation and something that I wanted to bring up today as today's topic. So most people love setting a New Year's resolution. They look forward to it. They think about it. Me, I don't like setting them. Honestly, I feel under too much pressure. I feel obligated to set them. I feel pressured that if I don't do that, that I'm going to be the odd one out. And I just don't like that. I like to set myself goals throughout the year. I like to think about what it is that I want to get out of my life at a time that I'm ready to make change. So if you are ready to make changes for next year, I'm so happy for you. And I think it's an amazing time definitely to do it. But why wait until January the 1st when most people are hungover, most people are tired, everyone's broke, no one wants to do anything because it's cold. So why not start them now? Why not say, hey, I'm going to plan my next year. I'm going to plan my goals and start them now. Start them Monday. I would suggest as well that you think carefully about what your goals might be. So one of the things I explored as to why people fail at their goals is because they're not fully in line with them. They're not fully in tune with them. And think about this. So if you think, okay, I should lose weight, that's going to be my New Year's resolution. Or I should go to bed earlier. I should drink less. I should smoke less. Now, in each one of those sentences, each one of those goals is the word should. I should do those things. Yep, we should all be healthier. We should all sleep more. We should all, do lots of things. But that doesn't mean that that's what you want to do. So just when you're thinking about your goals, think about what do I want to do, not what should I do, because they are two totally different things and the outcome of them are totally different. If you think that you should have a goal and your goal should be to smoke less, you're not in tune with that. It's not really what you want to do. Saying to yourself, I am going to smoke less, it totally changes your psyche and totally changes the way that you look at that goal. Because one is, yeah, I should do that because it's better for me. And one is I'm actually committing to doing that goal. So work out what it is that you really want to achieve and put it down on paper, put it out there on social media, maybe create a vision board. If there's a few things you want to achieve next year, we've talked about this in other episodes. I've had the vision board queen come on, so I can link to that if that's what you want to do. If you're a visual person, pull out from Pinterest and Google and Instagram different things that you want to achieve next year, but make sure they're really, really what you want to achieve, not what you should achieve. Most people are going to fail if you're not in tune with them. And I think maybe it's time to also evaluate not just short-term, long-term as well. So what do you want to, if your goal is to smoke less, what is that? How does that quantify? So do you smoke 20 a day and you want to smoke 10? Do you smoke 10 a day and you want to smoke 5? Do you want to switch from cigarettes to vaping? So be specific with what your resolution is. Don't just be general. We can all be general. You need to be specific. Otherwise, you're not really looking out for like the triggers, right? You don't really have a full goal. You have a half goal. So I know my goal is to get back in the gym. I've had a couple of months off after my surgery, and therefore I was under doctor's orders not to work out. Now I'm able to do that. So my goal is to get back in the gym and get running 3 to 4 times a week. That's my goal. It is to lose weight, and it is to get back to being toned up. That's my ultimate goal. I have in my head exactly how I want to look, not on the scales, because the scales are not my friend, but I know how I want to look in clothes. But breaking that down is I want to be in the gym 3 to 4 times a week. Now, maybe even take that one step further, and I should say to myself, okay, by the end of January, I want to make sure that I'm hitting that goal every week. And my goal is to do that for 6 months. So think about a time scale as well. Put a time stamp on it. This is your goal, and this is your end point, or this is how long you're going to work towards that goal. I think that's really, really important as well, because as COVID, and as I said, this year has completely flown by. And I'm sure many of us have thought that we were going to achieve so much this year. And in a blink, it became December. Think about what was it that you set last year as your goal? Did you achieve any of those goals, or has the whole year just flown by and you're maybe going to reset those goals for this year? I think it's really now is a time to go, okay, it's not just the goals, it's a time scale as well. So make sure, those are my tips. Make sure it's something that you really do want to do. It's not something you should do. It's something you really, really want to achieve. Think about the timing of that as well. So when do you want to do that? How long are you giving yourself as a goal? And then break that down into more manageable chunks. So if your goal is to have a new job, this year you want to have a new job. Okay, when do you want to have that job by? What is your ideal time? Is it by the end of March? Is it by the end of January? Is it by the end of the year? So think about that, and then think, okay, how am I going to get there? Do I need to write a new CV? Do I need to update my LinkedIn? Do I need to update my social media? What is it that you need to do in order to start putting your CV out there, start applying for jobs? So break your big goal down into smaller chunks. And even then you can set timescales. So if your idea of getting a new job by the end of March, maybe go by the end of January, I'm going to have a new CV, and I'm going to have updated my profile on LinkedIn, for example. And then in February, that your goal is to start applying for jobs. Maybe look at the companies that you resonate with, the companies that interest you, the companies that you love their style, you love their ethos, you really interested in their products. So shortlist those, do that in February, start applying to all of those, and then hopefully that translates through to interviews and nailing the job of your dreams by March. So that's just one example of structuring your goal and aligning your goal and working through the steps in order to reach that. And that can be said for any goal that you have. So set your time stamp and work towards it. Now, if you're not sure of what you want your New Year goal to be, and frankly, not all of us are, then maybe have a look at something called the Wheel of Life, which we have covered in a previous podcast months ago when Lisa was still part of the podcast. And we covered the Wheel of Life, which is a way of analyzing your life now and what areas you're not that happy with. So if you are not, you know that you're unhappy, or you know that there's some things that you want to change, but you don't know where to start, have a look, Google the Wheel of Life, or I can link to it. And it helps you go, okay, well, what am I happy with, or what, sorry, out of 10, am I happy financially? So you give your score, your finances a score out of 10. Then you look at your relationships and give that a score out of 10. Then you look at your health and give that a score out of 10. That enables you to narrow down exactly which area of your life you're not that happy with. And that may be the place that you start. So you know that you want to do something, you feel like it's time, 2022, it's time for a change, you're not sure what. Try a tool such as the Wheel of Life and try and narrow down exactly what is making you unhappy, or maybe it's just not fulfilling you anymore. Maybe it is a career thing, maybe it's family, maybe it's friends, and start work on that. So go, okay, now you know which one is the lowest score. Start thinking about that. Start thinking about, finances. Okay, we'll pick finances because I always talk about fitness and health and career. So why don't we talk about finances? You're really unhappy that your skin all the time. I mean, who isn't? It's just, Amazon is my best friend. So maybe finances is something that you want to work on. So perhaps you could look at your New Year's goal as, I want to get out of my overdraft, for example. So I want to be out of my overdraft by April. Maybe that's realistic. So think about what's realistic. Don't say, oh, I should be out of my overdraft by January, if it's not realistic. If you haven't got the funds to do it, you haven't got the willpower to do it in a month, then be realistic with yourself. If you think it's going to take 4 months to get out of your overdraft, set that as your goal. If you set unrealistic goals and you fail, you're more likely to give up. Let's be honest. You weigh yourself every week and you have a donut and the scales stay the same, you're more likely to have a terrible week the week after. So set realistic goals for yourself. So if you want to get out of that overdraft by April, what steps do you need to take to get there? So think about maybe analyzing your shopping. Download your statement, for goodness sake, and have a look at, where am I spending all of this money? What are my outgoings? I think we're all guilty of spending money and not really thinking about it some months, just thinking, oh, it's fine, I've been out a few times and, we had a few takeaways, the kids needed some clothes, and before you know it, you've spent hundreds of pounds just because it just got a little bit out of hand, and you've just had a really busy social life this month. Or Christmas is the worst because there's always things going on at school, and mine are out of nativities, but Christmas jumper day and Christmas hampers for the teachers and raffles and various things, and it's so easy to add up on top of presents. So maybe download your statement and go through that for a couple of months. Pinpoint where your money's going and where can you then perhaps scale that back. So if you're going out every week, maybe go out every other week, or maybe have the girls round to you where everyone brings a bottle, and so it costs you 20 quid instead of 50 quid to go out. Just do that a couple of times a month, which, is easier said than done. I am guilty of loving going out with my friends, but if needs be, you can rein that back in and find other ways to have fun. What about thinking, about petrol? Could you walk the kids to school instead of the 5-minute drive? Could you do a 15-minute walk? Lower your petrol costs. Is it something that there was a massive thing in the press about dropping a brand, wasn't there? So consider that when you go to the supermarket. Let's drop down a brand and see. There's lots of ways that you can save money. There's lots of tips online. Martin Lewis is amazing for giving you ideas of how to save, of how to juggle when you're in debt, where to move money around, how to switch your debt from one credit card to another that's 0% interest. there's lots of things that are out there to support you and help you if finances is one of the areas that you want to work at. But be realistic. Really focus on what it is that you need to fix and make sure that you are ready to make that change. Honestly, it makes such a difference. And this is where everybody fails if they just they're not fully committed in their goals. So yeah, try the Wheel of Life, have a look. If you're not exactly sure, have a look. Or maybe, you know, you don't want to set goals and actually you just want to cross something off your bucket list for next year. That's amazing. So it doesn't have to be like a financial goal. It doesn't have to be a weight goal. It doesn't have to be a career goal. Maybe your goal for next year is as simple as, I want to go somewhere new. I want to go to a new town I haven't been before. I want to go to a castle I haven't been to yet, if that's what takes your interest. Or I want to learn to drive. I want to learn a new skill. I want to learn how to sew, or rather than, you know, I want to learn how to take stains out of the kids' clothes rather than taking them to the mother-in-law's house and asking for help. It could be anything that just, one, makes your life better and or brings you joy. So why not set a goal that just makes you happy, does something for you? I actually have my vision board right next to me, and with COVID, I didn't really achieve any of it, honestly. So, oh no, I'm lying. I'm looking at it now. And if you are on YouTube, I do actually have my vision board here. For those of you on the podcast, I'm sorry, you could check me out on YouTube. I do have it. And I have put on there the YouTube. So I have actually achieved one thing that was on my vision board for this year. One thing was my healthy living and my fitness. And up until August, September, I was on track and achieving all of the goals that I had set for myself. So I need to just go back, realign with that. And I wanted to travel. Well, you know, thank you, COVID, for bringing this down and bringing my vision board down. And I'm just going to put them on the board for next year. I have Vegas on there and I have Rome on there. So I think they're achievable next year. One of them I will do for business, and one of them I will do either with my partner, or I'll take the kids for a long weekend to Rome. And I have some sayings on there, which I think are really nice. So for me, I've put on there, I'm stepping into the most successful decade of my life. You are what you manifest. The best is yet to come. And never apologize for being a powerful fucking woman. So those are my 4 little sayings on my vision board. And I actually really resonate with them. I'm stepping into the most successful decade of my life. I do believe that. I think my 30s were amazing. And next year I turn 40, just don't tell anybody. And I'm really looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to smashing the next 10 years of my life. I'm so excited about that. I'm very excited, not about the number, but about what I can achieve. And the saying, you are what you manifest. I've talked about this so many times, and I've had guest speakers that's talked about this as well. And this is really important in what we're talking about now. So you are what you manifest. You're manifesting these goals. If you're manifesting these New Year's resolutions, you believe that these are going to things that you're going to change in your life, you're going to be in tune with them. You're putting it out into the universe. You're believing it. You're feeling it. It's going to happen for you. So that's why I wanted to say it might not just be a goal. It might be something that you want to achieve, something that makes you happy. So yeah, let me know what your goals are. Let me know what you are going to achieve and when you're going to do it as well. I would love to hear about goals. I'm a massive fan of them. And I hope everybody has the very, very best New Year and Christmas. We all deserve it. It's been a bit of a shocking year. But I am not done with my podcast for this year. I have an amazing guest speaker I'm talking to this week and will be released next week. I'm super, super excited about that. I will put some teasers up next week on social media. I have been a bit quiet this last week. Life has just been crazy with the kids and everybody I know having COVID. So I've been a little bit slack on the social media. That's one of my goals for next year, is to make sure that I am regularly posting so you guys know what's coming up, what you can expect from me. And I am very excited about 2022, my goals, my vision. And I will share that with you. When I have my new vision board, I will post it up, and I would love to see yours as well. So thank you so much for listening. I really am excited to hear about your goals and your vision for 2022. Please don't be afraid to share it, and I will talk to you soon. Goodbye.